Whenever people debate the best fights in Naruto, what immediately comes to my mind are fights like Gaara vs Rock Lee, Naruto vs Pain, Sasuke vs Itachi, and I think most people would agree with me that these fights are very good. However, one fight that never crosses my mind when that question comes up is Obito vs Kakashi. Many people say that's their favorite fight, and I'm like, wait, hold on, this fight wasn't that good. But then I remember that I am not thinking about the anime version of the fight when I talk about these types of things. I usually think about the manga, but then when I realized that people were mentioning the fight in the anime, because honestly most people have only watched the Naruto anime, I understand, that makes sense. Because Kakashi vs Obito is one of those rare occasions where the Naruto anime managed to be better than the manga, and it was actually much better. So let's talk about why this fight was so much better in the anime. Before that though, subscribe to this channel and like this video if you enjoy my content. In order for us to understand why people love this fight so much, and why I don't really think it's a very good fight in the manga, we have to analyze it a little bit deeper. So the stakes are easy to understand. Kakashi just found out that his childhood friend that he thought was dead was alive just a couple of hours ago, and now he's in the Kamui dimension to 1v1 the guy. Kakashi finally musters the resolve to actually go ahead and kill him, because he says that killing this current Obito is the only thing he can do to save the Obito from the past, the Obito that was good. Obito wants to erase his past. Killing Kakashi here is a big step for that. However, we also know that Obito has some hidden intentions here as well. He wants to take away the seal in his heart that Madara uses to kind of control him, so he wants Kakashi to pierce him with the Chidori, but this is something we just find out later anyway. And they begin the fight. The beats are very similar in the anime and in the manga. Kishimoto uses the contrast with the past Obito and Kakashi sparring to the current Obito and Kakashi fighting to the death. It's actually very interesting, and it represents the two situations where these two characters fight and the history they have together. It pays off in the end of the fight when in the flashback Obito and Kakashi actually do the unison sign and they are friends. And then in the present they essentially go and try to kill each other in the end of the fight. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The flashbacks are there in the anime and in the manga. This was Kishimoto's idea. And of course the situations are the same. Kakashi and Obito have the same intentions both in the manga and in the anime. They even have the same dialogue. The problem is that Kishimoto kind of rushed this fight. This fight is about 10 pages long in the manga, and it's about 5 minutes long in the anime, which is by no means a very long fight. And don't get me wrong, a fight doesn't have to be long for it to be good. Sometimes getting right to the point is actually what you need. However, 10 pages in the manga is very short. And the problem is that most of those pages are flashbacks, and not the Kakashi versus Obito sparring flashbacks. No, other flashbacks that are showing what Kakashi is thinking about during his monologue in the fight. And when you cut that with the fight, it's just not that very engaging, to be honest. It's not one of those very kinetic fights that we usually get in the Naruto manga that's very exciting to watch. And this is the problem too. This fight in the manga is almost exclusively a fist fight, which can be very good, but it's much harder to make a fist fight look good and exciting in a manga than in an anime. You have to go through many more steps in order to make a fist fight interesting in the manga, and you have to occupy a lot of the page. And if you detail the fist fight too much in the manga, you're gonna get pages upon pages of fist fight, and there's actually not much happening. It's like 2 seconds in the actual fight, however you took a lot of pages to draw that, so it's a difficult circumstance. In the anime, on the other hand, you can just have the two characters fight in real time, essentially, and that's very exciting to watch. Still, Kishimoto is actually very good at drawing fist fights. Take Naruto versus Sasuke in the Valley of the End. In the end of Naruto Shippuden, look how he did the fist fight between Naruto and Sasuke there. He used a 2-page spread when the two characters were completely tired, and then he just put all those strikes in one single page. It hits you very hard. You look at that, wow, these guys are really struggling here. And that's not really a fight that Kishimoto does this very meticulous choreography. No, he's just showing what's happening. However, in the Kakashi versus Obito fight, they have like 2 physical clashes. Oh, look at this. Now I know where Kishimoto got that position from. Interesting. Anyway, Kakashi and Obito have very few taijutsu clashes, and they are not even that interesting to look at. They're not the most creative clashes. The only other thing that happens, except for taijutsu in that fight, which wasn't a lot of taijutsu anyway, was one fireball jutsu by Obito. In the anime, that's a different exchange. Obito uses the fireball and Kakashi blocks that with a mud wall. However, in the manga, Kakashi simply dodges the fireball and that's it. That entire exchange in the anime, the mud wall, Obito doing that balloon thing with the kunai, and then Kakashi using the lightning shadow clone, that's all anime only. It's technically filler, but it makes the fight much better, much more engaging. That little exchange there, it's so smart. That's what a battle between two very intelligent shinobis should look like. And then Kakashi finishes the fight with a kick when he launches Obito to the ground. That also happens in the manga, but there's no setup. It's just Kakashi kicking Obito. In the anime, we have the mud wall, the lightning shadow clone, the balloon thing. It's all very well done. Of course, that the main thing in this fight in the anime is the fist fight itself, which is probably the best choreography in the entire Naruto series as far as the anime is concerned. The animation is very fluid. Also, the transition between the flashback of Obito fighting Kakashi to their real selves in the present is more engaging than in the manga because they simply follow the kinetic energy of the fight between the flashback. It's very interesting and engaging to look at. Obviously, 95% of that taijutsu exchange is anime only as well. In the manga, that was very quick, and the entire fight was mostly flashbacks. I remember when I watched this episode for the first time, I was kind of done with Naruto because by that point in the story, when that episode came out, we had already seen Madara being killed by Black Zetsu and Kaguya returning in the manga, so I was like, I don't really care about this anymore. I mean, who cares about what's gonna happen? I know what's gonna happen and it's gonna be trash. But then this fight came along and I was like, oh damn, this is really good actually. Okay. And you can see that the animation in that episode was just much better than 99% of the rest of the War Arc. They actually put a lot of effort in that episode and obviously money as well because that took a lot of hours to animate. And I'm not saying that the manga version is awful. I mean, it's not as flashy, it doesn't have the spectacle, but it still has the meaning of the fight and the sentiment of the two characters, which is the most important thing about a fight. Of course, that having the spectacle on top of the feelings and emotions, that's gonna make your fight even better. That's what a fight should strive to be. However, only having the spectacle without the feelings, that's probably not a very engaging fight, no matter how amazingly gorgeous it looks. The Naruto anime managed to merge both spectacle and feeling into the Kakashi versus Obito fight very, very well, using all tools they had available. Great animation, the movesets, and also how they used the flashbacks. Not the Obito versus Kakashi flashbacks, but the flashbacks Kakashi was reminiscing upon during the fight. In the anime, they only used that at the very end when Kakashi and Obito were about to clash for the last time. And then Kakashi was remembering all those things while they were in slow motion. In the manga, that's happening throughout the entire fight, which breaks the flow and it doesn't make it as engaging to watch. That was a stroke of genius in the anime, because if they had put all those flashbacks during the taijutsu exchange, that would have broken the pacing of the fight completely. But this time, they did a fantastic job, oddly enough, because usually the anime tends to screw that up royally, and then the fight ends with them both striking each other. Now, I'll say this. In the manga, when they strike each other, that's actually a very cool page. It's a 2-page spread with 3 different images of them from different angles. And they do the same thing in the anime, but then we watch one angle, then the other, and then the other. It's very well done as well. I would say this is the best part of the fight in the manga by far. It's the most interesting paneling that Kishimoto used for this fight. And of course, because it's a 2-page spread, it's gonna catch your eye much more than just the regular pages. This fight definitely deserves to be called a great fight in the anime. In the manga, I mean, it's alright. It's there. I don't really like Obito that much, so I never really cared too much about that fight when I read it first in the manga, but they did a very good job in the anime. I wish they had done something similar for the Sasuke versus Kakashi fight in the anime. It was very lackluster, let's be real. Sasuke versus Kakashi should have been a really important fight, and it takes like 2 seconds to finish. It's not very engaging, to be honest. Hopefully I'll be able to do something interesting in that fight in the rewrites that I'm doing, but we'll see. Watch this video right here for more content like this. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, and thank you so much for watching.